This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening at 7 o'clock, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Some Riverside residents are not too happy about a project that could bring big changes to their neighborhood. The community along the White River on the near west side will hold a neighborhood meeting tomorrow. They are discussing a proposal by Citizens Energy Group to build a new rock wall in place of a dam that was damaged in 2018. Both residents and the energy company agree something needs to be done because the flow of the river is too shallow in areas that require more depth.
Does that make sense? It's really an insurance policy for our water supply here in Indianapolis. It's vitally important that we have that we have the ability to pump that water right out of the river to the canal.
The company says they are willing to compromise and continue to hear residents out, but it's too expensive to build or rebuild a dam.
Well, let's talk about these temperatures today. The high temperature occurred just after midnight, so it never felt that warm. 43 in Indy. Look at the 50s from Bloomington, Bedford on down to the Ohio River. That was then. This is now. We're at 35 in Indy. Solid cloud cover, but the rain is at least stopped. It was nice to put an end to that. We had between 1.5 inches and 2 inches of rain across portions of central Indiana. Temperatures will be slow to change this evening. Anywhere in the metro area within a degree or two of 35. That won't change by too much. By the time we get to 11 o'clock tonight, we're still in the lower 30s. The clouds are with us tonight. We hold off on any moisture, looks like until the middle of the week. You'll wake up tomorrow morning to cloudy skies as we roll through the overnight hours. Could be a little wintry mix closer to the Ohio River, but it's a dry, cloudy start to your Tuesday. First half of the day, temperature 36 by noon. Notice how the clouds begin to break up at least a little bit, giving us some sunshine in the early afternoon. 41 the afternoon high temperature. Okay, we'll talk about our rain snow potential, the cold end to the work week, and look to the weekend forecast as well coming up.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. An Indianapolis City County councilor says he's organizing an emergency public safety summit to talk about solutions to violence. But frustrated residents say talking isn't the answer to shootings, including last week's on the northeast side that left 4 people dead.
You ain't did nothing like that.
That was some of the reaction to Councilor Brian Mallory's announcement today. He says his summit plan is bipartisan and backed by the Fraternal Order of Police. Residents we spoke with are skeptical about possible solutions without addressing what they say is the root cause of violence.
We know what the issue is. It's poverty. Poverty is #1 on there. And for some reason, you guys still want to sit down and talk when we actually need to have action so the people can see that things are changing. If the people don't see that things are changing, they're not going to believe in you.
Mayor Joe Hogsett seemed to agree with residents who say the time for talking and studying is over. He cited actions his office has taken, including a community-based policing initiative and youth programs like Project Indy and Indy Achieves. The Public Safety Summit is scheduled for next Monday. On the north side of Indianapolis today, Police Chief Randall Taylor and IMPD officers shared coffee and conversation with the community. He says as IMPD is rolling out an initiative to encourage people to come forward with information about unsolved homicides, including that quadruple shooting and the alleged armed robbery that led to the death of a Subway employee.
We're going for building those relationships. We want to make sure that the community feels comfortable with speaking with us and sharing information that they have or concerns that they have. These officers here at this particular McDonald's work this North District, and they do a fantastic job of it. But we're always looking to build those relationships to make them as strong as they can be, because we're going to have to rely on each other.
Chief Taylor says there are people with information about unsolved crimes, and he hopes IMPD can get more of them to speak with officers.
There's a new tool available for the 1 in 5 Indianapolis residents who struggle with food insecurity. Today, the Office of Public Health and Safety unveiled Community Compass, an app that can help users find food banks, stores that accept SNAP and WIC, farmers markets, and other food-related resources. The Indy Hunger Network says the lack of information about how to find resources is one of the reasons that some people don't always have enough to eat. Community Compass was developed and created by local residents, organizations, and hospital staff. It is also accessible by texting or calling 317-434-3758. Blue and Gold Academy's in Decatur Township is hiring an environmental consulting company to test its facility after teachers raises health concerns. Blue and Gold houses 2 elementary schools off Man Road. Avon-based PH2 LLC will conduct a full check of the building after 4 teachers dating back to 2018 reported being diagnosed with tumors. That includes 3 teachers who reported head-related tumors within the past 6 months. The testing at the school is expected to take several months. And the company doing the testing released this statement to RTV6, which says in part, at this point, due to HIPAA constraints, PH2 does not have critical information to determine if there is a health issue. PH2 has no information to indicate that anyone in this community is at risk in general.
A cruise ship departed New Jersey today after 4 passengers returning from a trip tested negative for the coronavirus. Meanwhile, China is reporting more cases of the virus. ABC's Serena Marshall shows you what world leaders believe might stop the virus even as more countries take precautions.
Wearing a mask, Chinese President Xi out visiting a hospital, a community center, even having his own temperature taken. An effort to reassure the public the Chinese government can handle the coronavirus. Even as thousands of new cases have been reported in China just today, seeing a substantial increase from the weekend. Already, the virus has killed more than 900 people and infected 40,000 worldwide. China instituting mandatory quarantines, a strategy President Trump supports, telling governors gathered to the White House President Xi assured him that warm weather will kill the virus.
Now, the virus that we're talking about having to do, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat.
The World Health Organization, though, not banking on the change of season, sending a team to China to help investigate the outbreak, as officials now worried the threat may actually be increasing.
We have seen some concerning instances of onward transmission from people with no travel history to China.
On this quarantined cruise ship outside Yokohama, Japan, confirmed coronavirus cases nearly doubling.
There are 66 additional positive cases of coronavirus,
bringing the total number of infected on board to 136. Rebecca Frazier is one of them, but while the coronavirus can be serious and deadly, so far the impact on Rebecca's health while in isolation in a Japanese hospital has been mild.
It doesn't even feel like a cold, to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't have known that there was anything wrong with me if they hadn't tested me.
The Japanese government is considering testing all 3,700 passengers and crew on the Diamond Princess, which would require them to remain aboard until results become available. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
New Hampshire voters head to the polls tomorrow for the first primary election in the 2020 race. The results could change the dynamic between the candidates still in the running for the Democratic nomination. Senator Bernie Sanders is currently leading the pack in the polls, and Senator Amy Klobuchar is seeing a boost in her numbers following Friday's debate. Right now, President Trump is holding a rally in New Hampshire at the same arena that Democrats filled just days ago.
Americans say they're spending more on Valentine's Day this year. Still ahead here on the news at 7, why millennials plan to spend so much to express their love.
But first, energy vampires could be lurking in your home. How small changes can prevent appliances from zapping electricity and save you money in the long run. Welcome back. When you leave the house each day, you probably don't think twice about leaving appliances plugged in all around your home. But those appliances could be money-sucking energy vampires in disguise.
Mallory Sophostai with our Scripps News partners in Baltimore shows you how one woman is cracking down on energy vampires and turning her outlets into ATMs.
While most people dread bills, Lynn Waters doesn't mind getting hers.
I love these things. Great.
She takes pride in her energy efficiency rating because when she sees great, she hears,
This is my bill from January 2018. I had a credit.
She views outlets like ATMs and leaves next to nothing plugged in.
It does not stay plugged up unless it's being in use. Don't keep stuff like this plugged up. This TV is unplugged. The TVs upstairs are unplugged. I do have to keep like the cable boxes plugged up because I'm told because of the updates.
So you tried to keep them unplugged, but then you realized
yes,
that's something you have to keep plugged in.
Lamps like this lamp here is unplugged.
Lynn's habits didn't form overnight.
It started because I did end up retiring, and it's like, okay, money, you go from this amount down to this amount. So how can I make it work?
And she had to look at ways to cut costs several years ago when no matter what she tried, her bill wouldn't budge. She called BGE and insisted on standing with the worker as they read her meter.
And sure enough, the meter was actually broke.
They replaced her meter with a smart meter, and she kept looking at ways to maximize savings.
So at that point, I kind of got used to keeping things unplugged. If your cell phone is charged in my house, when you unplug your cell phone, you unplug the charger.
She had a smart thermostat installed, invested in new windows, put in vent covers, blackout curtains, and leaves little reminders around the house.
So closed door, closed vent. That's how you remember.
These little swaps have brought her bill down around $100 a month, with the occasional spike.
As you can see, my monthly bills, they could be like 90. Well, that one, that was a grandkid here. 85. 80, 91.
Her kids used to look at her like she was crazy. Now she's a resource for relatives, church friends, and anyone else looking to pay less with the flip of a switch.
IPL and Duke Energy offer free home energy assessments where someone will come to your home and show you potential cost-cutting measures. You can find more information plus energy-saving tips right now at theindychannel.com.
Coming up, the internet is constantly evolving, and it can be a dangerous place for kids. That's why one group is giving parents the tools they need to keep their family safe.
And we'll turn our attention to the middle of the week. Look what returns on Wednesday. First, some rain and then some snow. We'll have all the details straight ahead.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
With Valentine's Day just around the corner, a new survey finds that most Americans plan to spend about $150 to celebrate their love, unless they're millennials. That's according to a new survey from Bankrate.com and YouGov PLC. Millennials cite newer relationships and social media as reasons for their spending plans. Gen X plans to spend $160. Baby boomers, meanwhile, plan to spend just about $100. And according to the National Retail Federation, adults in the U.S. are forecast to spend more than $27 billion, a jump of 32% over last year's projection.
I'm good with just some chocolate. That's perfect. Tomorrow's Safer Internet Day. It's designed to raise awareness about the dangers that can be found online and to help parents and kids better navigate their way safely around the internet. Maya Rodriguez shows you some parents are feeling that burden and seeking a helping hand.
At the Parker family home in Georgia, screen time is something that goes hand in hand with teen life.
They're supposed to be young, and you want them to keep their innocence for as long as they possibly can.
But with the internet, that's not always possible. Cyberbullying, online sexual predators, among other things, lurk online.
I love being able to check in with my old friends and see what they're up to, but the aspects of it that are kind of dark and scary, I don't want my kids hanging out in there.
That's what triggered the creation of Safer Internet Day, first in Europe and now in more than 100 countries, including the U.S. It tries to raise awareness of the potential dangers online and what can be done to protect kids.
Having the technology talk with your children is so important, and that includes there is no such thing as privacy for children because the frontal cortex of their brains are not developed enough to handle what goes on social media and gaming platforms.
Parenting in the digital age is not easy.
Titania Jordan is the Chief Parenting Officer for Bark, a software monitoring program that instantly notifies parents via text if their children are encountering something unwanted online. Here in the U.S., Bark is monitoring more than 4 million kids.
We've escalated 16 credible school shooting threats to the FBI. We have escalated over 450 online predators to law enforcement, and our algorithms have detected over 21,000 instances of severe self-harm.
Jordan says there are other things parents can do to protect their kids while they're online. Use parental controls that come with your home's internet providers. Don't let kids have connected devices after a certain time at night, and make sure to teach your children to never reveal personal information online that can be used to identify them. For the Parker family, Bark is a part of online life. just one tool in their internet safety toolbox, giving them peace of mind.
Your kids, no matter how smart they are, don't mistake intelligence for maturity.
We're winging it. I'm winging it. You know, I'm trying to do the best that I can, and my kids are awesome, and I'm so proud of them. But I would not be doing my job if I didn't help guide them.
And navigate past uncharted waters deep in the web. In Atlanta, I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
And exactly 7:20 on this cloudy but dry Monday evening. We needed that. An inch and 3/4 into Indianapolis. That's your 2-day total. 4/10 of that came after midnight. So yesterday, the bulk of the rain arrived. Okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, next 2 days, temperatures not too bad. They really start to fall Thursday. And then Friday, I don't know if that's perfect timing or not, Valentine's Day, dry but cold. Let's break it down for you. Temperatures in the single digits. It's been a while since we've been there. The interesting thing is, this is a quick, significant cold shot, and then temperatures immediately start to rebound as we get to the weekend, but we'll be lucky to have a high around 22 on Friday. Let's fill in the gaps between now and Friday. Temperature in Indy 35, all of central Indiana with cloud cover, and that holds these temperatures within that mid-30s range. Off to work or school tomorrow morning, dry, cloudy sky. You got the green light there. So get into the afternoon hours, we're staying dry. We should actually have a little bit of sunshine work in there. We can look forward to that. Temperatures during the day on a Tuesday reach 41 for the afternoon high. The wind will be light out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we'll wait for the middle of the week when the next weather system arrives. During the day on Sunday, when the initial burst of snow arrived, it was this heavy, wet snow. You may have noticed how large the snowflakes were. They stick together when the temperature is that warm and the snow is falling, so that's why they were so large. But I think we may see some of a similar situation on Wednesday, where you get a burst of the heavy wet snow with the ground temperature above freezing, and then we'll transition to rain before it goes back to snow, and it comes to an end on Thursday. Wednesday morning, we're dry. Wednesday afternoon, here comes the rain, pushing from south to north. We'll stop this again 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You see Terre Haute to Indy to Richmond north, a little ribbon of snow. Then that rain continues to push to the north, where you see all snow, and it's a little more likely almost on that line from Lafayette to Peru, Marion potentially. You'll see a little more in the way of accumulation. Indications are some spots could see 3 inches of snow up there. This will vary a lot, just depending on where that rain snow line ends up. But the best chance for accumulating snow will be over the northern half of the state through the morning hours on Thursday. Friday's forecast, as we mentioned, only 22 for the high. 7-day planner after Wednesday. Thursday, still some snow showers potentially, falling temperatures, dry and cold on Valentine's Day. By the end of the weekend, rain will return, warm enough for rain on Sunday with a 45-degree high temperature.
22 on Valentine's Day. 22.
Stay inside for your plans. We'll be right back after this break.
A new episode of The Bachelor premieres at 8 o'clock tonight.
And this may be the most dramatic season in Bachelor history. America is on board for the wild ride as pilot Pete searches for true love. Last week, the 2-night special kicked off with the women angry about the return of villain Alea. And just as soon as Peter squashes that drama, more fights between the women break out in the house. The group travels to Santiago, Chile, and Peter hopes to put the drama behind him. We got to talk with Peter and ask him some questions about the season, like how do you deal with the drama in the house, and how do you know who to trust with your heart?
I've learned I'm definitely someone that I do give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I love to see the good in people, and it's a quality that I love about myself, but also in this kind of situation probably bit me a lot. You do start to see me eventually just put my foot down, and enough is enough. Like this is where it gets really good, and this is where the relationships really start to take off.
He concluded by telling us he is happy now, but he can't say much more. He also tells us that the final week of filming was the toughest week of his life.
I'm sure it was.
We will have to see what happens.
I have nothing to add.
Good.
I gotta go watch The Bachelor. Bye.